Some promos, of course, letting us know that elections are at hand. But we're not talking about elections today, being Friday.
Just for a while.
Just for a while. And like we did tell you when we started, it's something a little more entertaining. Elections are not really entertaining, are they?
Come on, to some people, they are their life.
Okay, yes, I know.
People have waited 4 years for this period, so.
Okay, but today we're going to be talking about music. We're going to be talking about the voice, actually. We want to take a look at voice training. There is such a thing as voice training.
Hallelujah. That's why we're talking voice training. So if you don't like it, it can be better.
Okay, so vocal training or vocal coaching, why do we need that? Do we even need that? You know, and what it does for us and how that has enhanced the music industry, if you like. How much are people engaged in it, especially the singers that we have today in the music industry. All right. Okay. And to help us talk about that today, we've got in the studio Kebby Eyong, who is a music producer. He also is a vocal coach and the president of Omni Music. It's a pleasure having you on the program today.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Good to have you finally, so we can make our time to be here and leave the cursors and the keyboards and
wow, it's one big thing, you know. To actually leave those things to be here.
Amazing. Good to have you
I
here.
know. So how'd you like my couch?
I like it.
There
The color,
she goes.
fantastic.
Okay. The day she's going to have a guest without asking this question, I'm going to
No,
sing
this
a new
is
song.
my must-ask question,
Okay.
because I need to be sure that
Like
my
what's
guests
trendy?
are comfortable and, you know, so that they'll be able to
Okay.
discuss. Okay, so we're talking voice training, vocal coaching, yeah, and all of that. And you are into that, and you know I really want to for us to have some sort of background. You know what brought on the need for vocal training? Why vocal training? What is vocal training in the first place, and you know why?
Okay, thank you very much. It's actually a beautiful thing for me to be here on set with you guys. Thank you so much. All right, vocal training actually it's something very important, very essential for every singer, okay? In a usual gathering or every normal gathering, whether religious or normal party, church, any other person can just come and every day maybe sing the way you like or sing the way you know how you can, and it's like almost cool. But it's not always cool for singers. That's why it's like that's why we have the need for vocal training. Take for example the football. I can go on the street and play the football, however I like, and just have fun with it. But if I'm a footballer, I mean, there's an extra mile to it. The same thing with the vocal training thing. So I think that kind of makes me want to say, in a way, I think it's more important for the singers, people who take singing professionally, who want to do it, who put more importance into it, choristers, artists, and all that. So they need it more. And vocal training is actually a means of enhancing your vocal capability when it comes to singing. All right, so basically that's what it is.
Is there anything like having a gift from small and rising to the top without vocal training?
Yes, it's very possible. You know, there are a lot of things. Everything given to us by God is dynamic. It's powerful. Understand? It's just that there's a need for us to study it and know how to use it.
Best.
Okay. So if you grow up just like my boy right now, he's singing so many songs, like from Ty Tribbett songs and all that. And I trust God that by the time he's big, he's going to be doing wonderful things with his voice.
Big, what's the age range? So
like he's clocking 3 soon.
Whoa.
But he's doing Fred Hammond song already. As in, you can hear him. He can hear him run scales.
I lost my voice at some point.
Right. So now imagine such a kid from this age. He's doing all that. He could grow up and he's doing so well vocally, but that does not stop him. If he wants to take it to an extra mile, that doesn't stop him from learning or studying, researching, and rehearsing or learning more about the voice, because he really needs it, actually.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. You have. I'm aware that you've written some books as regards vocal training.
Yes.
What brought that on? You know, is it because you felt some singers were really not taking their voice seriously by way of training, or was it to give more information? Talk to us about.
I can remember way back. I read my first book on music, 2006. Whoa. The second one is actually is ready, yet to be published. Though.
Okay.
I finished writing the second one, and I remember how that came about. What inspired it was I was working with one of the choirs. I've directed several choirs, up to 8 choirs. Then one of the choirs I was working with, then they needed a material. We needed material to, for our normal training, every rehearsal. So I was actually going to I was advised by my one of my music tutors then, to put together something on a handbook or something just to teach them.
Scribble down something.
And by the time I started, I noticed I finished the first page, second page, 5th, 8th. Then somebody told me, "Guy, put this in the book."
Put this thing together.
Because most of it, and how those information, how it all came is, the Holy Spirit actually has been very helpful. Most times I sit down and I hear things. Wow. Then I go research on them, then find out how does it work. That's how I now pick them. So that was why I had the boldness to put that whole material as mine. So it's not like something content I really picked together from somewhere. But of course I did study a whole lot of stuff and got some facts. So that's how the first book came up. And I remember very well that when the first time I finished it, I thought it was ready for publishing, and I took it to one of my musical instructors, and the guy told me, "You have to go and do more. Wow. You have to go and research more, work more." And I was like, "Are you serious?"
Because you felt you had done.
So he's like, "I've not done much yet." I had to go back and, well, as God will have it, by the time I finished and I was ready to release it, by then I'd learned a lot.
Okay.
So, and the first one came out, Vocal Tips for Singers.
Vocal Tips for Singers. Okay. And you say many singers have been blessed by the book.
Many singers, and a lot of times people just call me, a lot of people I don't know who probably got a book from somewhere, and they're like, "Okay, I saw this on your book, can you explain this to me?" And over the phone, and it's been fun. It's fun.
Do you have the e-copy so more people can reach it? I think you should also plan for that, so people can reach out to get the book on e-copy.
Yeah, we are making plans on that on the second. The second book. So.
Okay. I want to find out, when it comes to vocal training, do the same rules apply for every singer? For instance, like if you were to go on the internet, for instance, you probably would see a lot of information about how to train your voice, maybe even some tips and all of that, For a lot of those tips come from the Western world. Yeah. Do the same rules apply? Or maybe are there some differences in the tips because I'm in a different environment? Maybe the air, the weather, the climate is different, or do the same rules apply for all?
Okay, let me answer the question directly first, and I'll do some explanation. The answer is no, it doesn't apply. The same rule doesn't apply to everybody. Okay. Instead, there are differences, there are variations, and I think they need to be looked into, because that's actually been an issue for singers. Okay, you get online, you download stuff, and because they say do this, or this is what happens to your voice when this happens, and you just believe it's the same for everybody. No, there are some basic things that are general, but besides those things, every singer every voice is unique for its own. God made it so powerful and dynamic that way. Every voice is unique. That's why I respect every voice when it comes to me. So singers need to study themselves, know their voice type, know what affects them, okay? Get to know what affects generally though, but don't always apply it to you. So get to know what affects you, because what affects you might not be affecting somebody else. Okay. I've met with a lady, all right, then we used to say, oh no, we're told, the palm oil, you hear people, when it comes to diets, don't take palm oil. When you take palm oil, you're not able to sing and all that. Well, it affects a lot of persons, but their person doesn't affect. I've seen a person that can, if you want her to drink a bottle of palm oil now, before going on stage, she would do just perfectly well. Wow. But then, what does palm oil do? It has the capability of coating, the inside of your vocal, cavity, coating certain surfaces, and it affects airflow, it affects your feelings, you understand, because emotions are connected to how you produce your sound. So it kind of dullens the sound a bit, all right? So that's its effect too, all right? So the same thing with things like alcohol. When it heats up your blood pressure within the vocal cavity, it affects the vibration of your vocal cords, all right? And all of these have effects. So there are some basic things when it comes to diet, or like stress. Stress generally affects, so you have to know that as a singer, you don't stress up yourself too much before you go upstage or before you go for your next gig, because it would definitely affect. Yeah, so there's some basic things.
Your stress, do we have some things that you could take, supplements, or, you know?
Yeah, I like to go with the natural things. Okay. Rest and take a lot of water.
Okay.
All right. That's what I do more. Rest and take a lot of water.
Those pills, that's why we have
all of that, they have their effect, and they are not helpful, except you have a health issue within your vocal cord. Then you could see your doctor, of course, and they would give you the right prescription, and that will help. Otherwise, don't just go taking pills when it's not good.
Okay. I have before